We're watching ESPN's Champ Week presented by Principal. It's the Ivy League Women's Basketball Tournament presented by TIAA. Harvard and Columbia set to meet here at Brown University in Providence, Rhode Island in the Ivy Madness Championship game. The winner getting the automatic bid to the NCAA tournament, but the Ivy League could be a three-bid league. We will have to wait and see. Harvard knocked off Princeton in one semifinal yesterday. Penn gave Columbia a great fight, but Columbia, the regular season champs, came up with the victory, setting up this showdown here today. And it is great to be with you here courtside alongside Christy Thomas-Gutty. I am Eric Freed. We'll have a first-time champion here at Ivy Madness. This is the 7th year of this event. Columbia, Harvard have not won it, but it doesn't mean they don't have a lot of postseason history going head-to-head.
Well, in the last 3 years, this will be the 4th time these teams are squaring off. Competition's been tight. Scoring margins have been slim, and to make things even spicier, they split during the regular season.
Speaking of spicy, the performance last night by Harmony Turner was 10 on a scale of 10. 44 points for Turner.
One of the best all-around games that I've seen Harmony Turner play. She was spectacular. She was shot ready. She was smart in her decision-making. She scored at all 3 levels. She was efficient, 7 of 11 from 3. Eric, in the month of March, she's averaging 34 points. She's shooting 55% from the field and a whopping 46% from 3. She can get her shot right now.
Record-shattering night last night here at the Pizzatola Center. New building record, Ivy tourney record for men or women, and she broke her school record last night. She'll be going up against the Columbia team that is very good defensively, and they have the Defensive Player of the Year on their roster, Kitty Henderson.
Kitty Henderson is a coach's dream because she impacts every facet of this Columbia program. She can post you up. She handles the ball from the point position. She is the top defensive player in the league. She can get stops. She can beat you off the bounce. She has everything in her bag, and we saw it in full display in the semis. As Kitty Henderson goes, so goes this Lions ball club.
Henderson among the all-time greats at Columbia, and look at that bottom line. Maybe that's the most important number. Chance to pick up career win number 100 here today, number 1 in the all-time list. We're ready to go. Columbia, the home team, in their Columbia blue against Harvard in the road black, and the opening tip is controlled by the Lions, and here is Kitty Henderson for Cecilia Collins. Looking inside, Rafu fell down. Henderson through traffic, throws it into the corner, caught by Riley Weiss. 7 on the shot clock. Weiss, Sanaya Glenn-Bello there defensively. Jumping in to get the putback is Perry Page. Harvard, 23 wins on the season. Their starting 5, Gabby Anderson, good defensively. Lydia Fatira is a first-year. Rodriguez, the number 2 scorer. Turner averaging 22.4 points a game. That's good for 9th in the country.
And Eric, expect Columbia to mix up defenses. A lot of different players will try to slow Harmony Turner down.
Few have succeeded, if any. Starting 5 for Columbia after Turner gets the bucket includes Susie Rafu, a double-double in the semifinals. Perry Page, Cecilia Collins, Henderson, and Riley Weiss is top scorer, 3rd in the Ivy at 17.5 points a game.
And Eric, so many clashes of styles. We've got the number 2 scoring defense in Harvard against the top scoring offense in the Ivy in Columbia. Something's got to give tonight.
Good slide by Collins, but Rafu couldn't get it to drop. And here comes Turner back the other way. Good catch in transition. The pull-up is off the mark, and the rebound to Page. Turner disruptive in the backcourt. Gets the steal, gets the score. Harmony Turner now with 76 steals on the season. That is number 1 in the Ivy.
Well, she anticipates well. She's long, she's quick. And so we talk a lot about her scoring, but a big part of her scoring this season has been because of the Harvard defense. Full court, they pressure you, they turn you over.
Henderson knocks down the 3. You expect to see quite a few threes from each of these teams here tonight.
Between the 2 of them, they average 49 attempts a game. I'm thinking we're going to have well over 50 here this afternoon.
Harvard with the turnover. Columbia gets the steal. Henderson, the good feed inside, and the easy 2 for Collins.
And here's the key for Harvard, just to get off to a good start. When they lost the matchup in January, just a slow start. Played well after that. So key, especially after the emotional win they had yesterday against Princeton.
Rodriguez, Bello struggled to find the range yesterday. Weiss fights for the rebound, defensive rebound for Columbia. Look at her push up the left side. Collins through traffic, got hit, and she'll go to the free throw line to shoot two.
Well, for Columbia, we're used to the fast starts, and it should go through the senior Kitty Henderson, spotting up for three. Then off the bounce, you find Cecilia Collins down low. Great seal by Collins for the two.
Griffith talking it over with Kitty Henderson. First team all-conference selection. We mentioned Ivy Defensive Player of the Year, 10 points, 5 rebounds, and assists, 4 steals in the win against Penn yesterday. There is Collins at the free throw line.
And Eric, you know a player's good, like Kitty Henderson, when it takes you at least 15 to 20 seconds to describe her stat.
Well,
that's what she does in a game.
Here's how I judge it. By the number of breaths I need to take in describing all the accolades. I got to come up for air a couple times.
I said I'm a member of the Kitty Henderson fan club, and it only grew in prestige after her performance yesterday.
There's Turner. You can see how quick she is. Rodriguez just couldn't finish. Taken back by Harvard. Second chance opportunity. It was Gabby Anderson with the steal. And points off turnovers for the Crimson again.
And Eric, both these teams are looking to apply full court pressure after they score. Something to watch. Taking care of the ball is key, but the second area is those second chance opportunities. Columbia's 6th in the nation, but Harvard is also very good at creating second chance opportunities.
Collins feeding it inside. Swept around. Collins left open. Can't get it. Offensive rebound for Page, and she was fouled. You can see Harmony Turner letting Carly White know, box out. Rebounding is going to be such a key part of this game. Who controls the boards, because they both get on the glass. Columbia's an undersized team, but they rebound so well. 6th in Division I in offensive rebounds a game. Weiss couldn't get it. There's Collins, another second chance opportunity for Columbia, and Collins has 5.
So 2 key areas if you're trying to beat Columbia. You've got to be sound on out-of-bounds defense. Harvard fell asleep there. You also have to limit second chance opportunities. Already 3 offensive rebounds for the Lions.
Anderson with the turnover. Left-hand finish, no. Rebound hauled down by Carly White. And then another turnover. Deep, deep, deep 3 by Riley Weiss. And a timeout is called by Harvard. Riley Weiss was 0 for 3 on threes in the semifinal round yesterday, so she went a couple of steps beyond the arc for this one.
Well, you knew Riley Weiss was due, and head coach Megan Griffith says she never has back-to-back off games. She self-adjusts, and so a huge start for the Lions.
And an early timeout called by Carrie Moore for the Crimson as Harvard is down by 7. If yesterday is any indication against the Princeton team that Harvard had lost 6 straight games to, there's not any panic in Harvard. Certainly, Carrie Moore was making that clear to us earlier today.
Well, first of all, they've been down before, as you mentioned, and they were down to Columbia as well. But when you've got a team that can press and turn you over and score as quickly as Harvard does, you're never out of the game. When you've got a team that can knock down threes like Harvard does, you're never out of the game. And when you've got the player of the year in Harmony Turner, you're never out of a game.
Columbia yesterday with that victory over Penn, 60-54. They led by 17 in the third. They had to grind it out in the fourth. But Megan Griffith said that playing against Penn and the style they played, thought it was a good simulation for what they would run into against Harvard today.
And she said kind of different because Penn isn't quite as disruptive as Harvard, but I think in terms of getting reps and press breakers, understanding spacing against press breakers, really important for Columbia.
From a Harvard point of view, they get that victory over Princeton. They were down by 13 in the second half of that game. That was midway through the third quarter. They advanced to the Ivy Madness final For a second time, they lost to Princeton back in 2023. And as we mentioned, Columbia was in this championship game a season ago, but fell at home to Princeton.
And I like this timeout for Harvard because this is emotional. You said it at the top. These teams are going for their first Ivy Madness Tournament championship. And so we know the emotional high that Harvard had. Got back to the hotel after 11 p.m. last night. It's a quick turnaround for them. So as much as there's any adjustments being made by Harvard, this is a reset timeout for them as well.
Rebounding, telling the story early. Columbia is a +3, and they have 4 of their 6 rebounds coming on the offensive glass.
I think a key for both these ball clubs, and we've seen it by both teams, you can't allow the defense to speed you up on offense. And we've seen a couple of misses by both teams at the rim because they've been too sped up. So the 1-2-2 by Columbia, they're trying to get a quick trap when you cross half court or on the inbounds pass. Good job by Harvard to keep the ball in the middle third of the floor.
Here's Rodriguez. 9 on the shot clock. Hand off to Turner. Turner defended by Collins. Turner resets with 3, with 2, with 1. That's going to come up short. Barely nicked the rim, so it's not a shot clock violation, but Columbia has the rebound.
Hats off to the Columbia fans, making it loud.
They are here. No
and they
question.
are loud.
Well, you do know Columbia is a women's basketball school. Didn't always say that, but in the last few years, we were there last year for that atmosphere in Manhattan, and they have traveled so well. 1 on the shot clock, and this will be a shot clock violation, so that Harvard defense getting a turnover. And there's the architect of the turnaround at Columbia, Megan Griffith. She was a 3-time captain as a player at Columbia. You get a little taste of her intensity.
And her team feeds off of that. We were able to go to their walkthrough today, and very businesslike. She's got a veteran ball club. I asked her, you're doing more pressing, you're mixing up your defenses more. And she goes, we've got veterans with great basketball IQ.
Turner off the window for 2. 6 points for Turner. Henderson. Entry for Collins, nowhere to go, but she finds Weiss open for another 3. And Carly White gets in there for the rebound on the defensive glass for the Crimson across half court to Glenn Beller. We welcome those of you who are watching Grand Canyon and UT Arlington go to the wire. We're in the opening minutes here in the Ivy Madness Championship game. Eric Freed, Christy Thomascutti, and our crew here at Providence, Rhode Island. Brown University, Columbia, the home team in their Columbia blue, taking on Harvard in the road black. And Kitty Henderson, first team all-conference selection, muscles it in for Columbia out to a 5-point lead here in the first quarter. Christy, what stood out to you here in the opening minutes of the game?
Well, Columbia is locked in, and defensively, they made everything hard for Harvard so far in this game. But most importantly, in terms of the veteran ball players, Kitty Henderson has started this first quarter on fire, started the game with a 3. You just saw the driving layup. Harvard's going to make it difficult for Columbia to score, but if Henderson can score at the rim like that, it's going to be a long night for Harvard.
Columbia, the regular season champions, outright in the Ivy for the first time. It's their 3rd straight time that they've at least shared a regular season title, but looking for their first postseason title. This is the 7th year of Ivy Madness, rotating basis on campuses this year here at Brown University. Abigail Wright played very well for Harvard yesterday in their semifinal win over Princeton. Rebounding is key. Harvard getting on the offensive glass for the putback to make it a 3-point game.
Eric, rebounding is key because possessions are key to win a championship. Both these teams will press in the full court. They want to turn you over and score off those miscues. So how do you balance that out? Get the second chance opportunities.
Collins kicks it outside, 3-pointer on the way. Mia Broom hits it. First year from Seattle. who had 4 points in 22 minutes, added a couple of assists in that semifinal victory against Penn yesterday here in Providence.
Megan Griffin says Bryn's going to be really good, and I just kind of laugh. I'm like, she already is.
Rolling to the basket, Rodriguez puts it in for 2. Both teams shooting at a good clip. These are 2 of the best defensive teams in the Ivy League. Harvard, number 2 in the nation in scoring defense on the season.
And Eric, this is the 3rd time these 2 teams are meeting one another. They know one another extremely well. Players have to make the reads off the defensive adjustments.
Carrie Moore's in her 3rd season as the Harvard head coach, 23 wins this season. They've won 3 in a row since their last loss. That was to Princeton. They beat Princeton yesterday in the semifinals. And the staff bringing out the hockey sweaters. Carrie's from Michigan, so I said, you got some Detroit Red Wings look to you right now. You're ready for a fight here today, and they were holding these out for a championship, and they do pop, and they're hoping to win the Ivy Madness title. We're going to hear from Charlie Creeman a little bit just to see where this game and what is happening when it comes to the Ivy League in the big picture in the NCAA selection process. But for now, a trophy's on the line here in Providence. Harvard and Columbia playing for it.
I said it last night, I'll say it again. We can talk all we want about the NCAA tournament, but for the Ivy League, winning this championship means everything.
So Tira to the basket, the feed from Rodriguez, and Harvard is within 2. Hustle play by Rodriguez. It was last touched by Kitty Henderson, and it'll be Harvard basketball. Defensively, Columbia 3rd in the Ivy, keeping teams to 58 points a game, 2nd in the Ivy in steals per game. Harvard has really ramped things up on the defensive end. That was their goal this season. They knew they had an elite scorer in Harmony Turner. How are they going to complement Turner's offensive game? They needed the defense to be locked down. And they need players other than Turner to step up. Abigail Wright, one of those players, couldn't get the putback. And Columbia's got it as we approach a minute to go here in the 1st quarter.
And this is what I mean by getting sped up. The first rebound putback was there, just pushed it a little bit too quickly.
Henderson comes up a little short. Wright's got the rebound. Numbers if Harvard hurries. Pushed up to Turner, quick to the basket, a little too quick. And the rebound for Columbia.
That's good job defensively by Columbia. They forced Turner lower than the block, and Turner was still trying to use the backboard, didn't have the angle.
Henderson, in and out. Rodriguez has the rebound. Shot clock is off. Rodriguez, veteran player for this Harvard team, senior from Spain, 2nd team all-conference selection, will slow it down for the player of the year in the Ivy League. We will take you back to what she did last night before we start the 2nd quarter. Rodriguez gets set. Open look for 3. Henderson with the push. That's going to come up short, and Harvard getting it done defensively in the 2nd part of that 1st quarter. And players other than Harmony Turner stepping up to make sure they lead by 1 after 1.
Well, Rodriguez has shown up to play. The senior making big plays for Harvard. Harmony Turner got him going. The rest of the team is joining in on the party.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by TIAA, where you can lock in the win and get a guaranteed monthly retirement check for life. Harvard and Columbia meeting for the title. The semifinal showdowns on Friday were highlighted by an epic performance by Harvard's Harmony Turner.
The player of the year didn't just show up, she showed out. She played with a chip on her shoulder. Eric, she went deep in her bag. She scored from 3. Very efficient, 7 for 11. Then she started creating off the bounce. Mid-range game was on point. She was able to get to the rim. In the month of March, she is averaging 34 points a game and shooting 55% from the field.
She broke her own school record, going for a career-high 44 points. Ivy Madness record for men or for women in the 7-year history of this event, and a new Pizzatola Center record going for the 44 points. Willing her team to victory last night over Princeton by 3, 70-67. So Harvard is in Ivy Madness for the second time, the final for the second time. Officials are at the monitor. Was this a 2 or a 3 is what they are looking at? And Elena Rodriguez.
Like a 3 to me.
It's close to the line. Joe Vasili, Karen Prieto, Ashley Good, our officials here today. Rodriguez was a little slow going for her yesterday, Christy, 2 points. She did have 11 rebounds and 4 assists, but was 1 of 6 from the field. But you can just tell how she is right now. Different player here, the senior with the championship on the line.
Well, in so many ways, I think just to beat Princeton was a huge mental hurdle for Harvard. They had stood in their way so many times. And so it's almost they are playing freer today here in the championship.
So on the floor, it was called a 3. I don't know if there's enough there, but they're taking a long look because this officiating crew knows this is a game that most likely is going to come down to a possession, if not a point. Harvard won at Columbia in the regular season. Columbia won at Harvard in the regular season. The Columbia loss, by the way, their only loss in the Ivy League this year, 13-1. In the meeting at Harvard when Columbia won on January 31st, the Lions turned it over just 9 times. Three-pointer is confirmed. So Rodriguez, yeah, she knew it all along, yeah. She knew it all along.
And she's buried a 3. She wants to get this going. She's feeling it right now.
Second quarter is now underway. Hatera on the floor for Harvard, first year at the point. Out there at the same time with Carly White. White played well yesterday in the semis. See if they can find Turner. Kitty Henderson, the defensive player of the year, guarding the player of the year in the Ivy. Rodriguez wants it. Back out top to Turner. Turner on the switch, it's Collins. Collins tries to split defenders, and it's going to be a foul called on Henderson, who knocked Turner down.
And this is what you're going to get from Columbia. We can talk all we want about Kitty Henderson being the defensive player of the year, but it will be team defense. They're looking to switch off of down screens. They're looking to mix up defenses anytime Turner gets the ball and is trying to attack the rim.
First foul on Henderson. Turner will launch a 3 and make it. She just loves shooting in this gym. Harmony Turner, now at 9, closing in on 2,000 for her career, by the way. Came into the game needing just 16 points to get there.
Going to be really fortunate because that was a long pass out of the trap. Harvard should have been there in the rotation, but they weren't.
Remember, Christy, Columbia jumped out to a 13-6 lead. Since then, Harvard has outscored Columbia 16-5. 6 on the shot clock. Henderson needs help. Has it on the right side. Three-pointer on the way is too strong. Offensive rebound for Raffew. Rodriguez with the block. And it will be Columbia basketball. Rodriguez making some winning plays here in the opening half.
Eric, we said it from the top, expect a lot of three-point balls, but the one thing Columbia does not want to do is allow Harmony Turner to go off from 3. Advantaged Harvard on that one.
Turner was 7 of 11 on threes yesterday in the win over Princeton. Henderson will launch and answer with a 3 of her own. Second three-pointer for Henderson. She's got 8, and it's a 1-point game. Rodriguez. Now Weiss defending Turner.
And one thing we saw in Harvard last night was a lot of screening, re-screening for Turner in the half court because, again, these teams know one another so well, just trying to add new wrinkles to the game plan.
Rodriguez kept it alive, but Harvard could not cash in on a second chance opportunity. Here's Collins. Collins with the flip over her back for Henderson. Weiss hustles to keep it in play for Columbia. Then she sets up for a 3. Riley Weiss looks like a different player here today. There's Turner in a blur back the other way for the Crimson.
Griffin wants this pace up. As soon as Kitty Henderson got the inbounds pass there, she's imploring her push it.
Henderson looking for the post up on Hetera. Takes it back out, Collins. Contested three, no good. Offensive rebound, put back, no. Wright fighting for the rebound, ripping it away and giving it to Rodriguez. Rodriguez kicks it over to Hetera. Rodriguez looks for White on the cut for two. Seven assists on 12 made field goals for Harvard here in the first half. On top by two.
So because these teams know the offenses so well, screens aren't getting set sufficiently, nor are the dribble handoffs working so far. They're getting blown up, so these players have to reset and set up some of these cuts.
First points for Rafi, who played so well against Penn. Matched her season high with 16 points, had 10 rebounds, 5 on the offensive end for her second double-double this year. Turner, open look. She doesn't need much room. Another bucket for Harmony Turner. That's 14 points, 2 to 2K for Turner. And knocked away by Carly White. White with a step to the basket.
Eric, I thought Carly White, Abigail Wright were so huge last night for Harvard. And already in this game, they're making their young presence felt here at Ivy Madness.
Henderson trying to settle things down now for Columbia. And what is a 5-point game in the first half.
Eric, I'm seeing a lot of players breathing hard already in this game.
Wright gets called for the foul, and that will send Henderson to the free throw line. Recognizing that, 3 players coming on for the Crimson to give 3 on the floor. A break here, 5:23 to go. 4 players now for the Crimson, Christy. Sorry.
And Eric, and Harmony Turner started off hot from 3 last night, and that opened everything up. Well, she started off 2 of 2 from 3 here this afternoon as well.
That's one thing that jumped up. You talked to Carrie Moore about it today. When Turner saw that first 3 go down against Princeton, a team she had struggled with, you could see she was anxious to get that second one up there. And when that one dropped, it was like she was floating. It really, you could just see the confidence in Harmony Turner. She is a very confident player. She plays with
got swag.
Capital S swag, and she delivered on it in a performance for the ages here at Ivy Madness. 44 points, carrying Harvard to a championship game against Columbia.
And I loved what she said in the opening day press conference here in Providence. She said, the Player of the Year is an honor, but my mission is to win an Ivy championship.
I love what she said to us when she came over for the post-game interview. She goes, I took it personal. I thought we were talking to Michael Jordan 2.0. I took that personally.
Well, with the 44 points, it kind of was.
Turner, step back 3. You know it. Not this time, though. Glenn Bello got a hand in there, and it's last touched by Perry Page, and it'll be Harvard basketball on the baseline.
Eric, since January 25th, Turner's only had 1 game in which she hasn't reached the 20-point plateau. That's a senior on a mission.
I'm going to ask you, is that a game she had 19 points?
It was 15 against
15.
Princeton. You kind of referenced her struggles there, which she cleansed last night.
Oh, she sure did. Inside of 5 minutes to go, Turner with it, Henderson on her. Swing it over into the game and launching a 3. Elena Rocco, the first year from Pittsburgh, not shy at all, knocking down the 3-pointer to put Harvard on top by 8. Mia Broom on the ball right now for Columbia. There is Bola on the floor for the Lions. As we mentioned, both teams going to the bench. Katie Krupa is in for Harvard. Gabby Anderson's back on for the Crimson.
A lot of passing around the perimeter right now for Columbia.
Broom on the take with the shot clock winding down, and it's lost out of bounds. Last touch by Harvard. It'll be Columbia basketball when we come back to Providence. Columbia jumped out to a 7-point lead, but right now Harvard's in front by 8 first half.
Welcome back to Ivy Madness, where the big question last night was who else can score to help out Harmony Turner? Well, today, the team is answering, we got your back, Harmony. We've seen Rodriguez score from deep around the bucket. We've seen Rocco knock down a big three. Abigail Wright has knocked down shots. Carly White has knocked down shots. They're getting balance, which is taking pressure off of Harmony Turner.
Turner went for 44 of the 70 yesterday, but you can see she doesn't have to go it alone, and you see the breakdown without Harmony, already 20 points compared to the 26 yesterday. Harvard seems to be playing a lot more freely than they did in those opening minutes when they fell behind by 7. What's different for you in your eyes in how this game's turned around?
Well, I think Harvard's half-court defense has been really good. I said a moment ago, Columbia's just moving the ball around the perimeter. They're not getting anything penetrating. That's a big part of Columbia's offense. One, they can drive and kick out for threes. Two, when they get the penetration, forces teams into rotation. That's when they can attack the offensive glass.
Kick back outside, open three is good. The first year from Spain, Maria Aribola gets her first points.
And Eric, the three came because there was dribble penetration, forced rotation, she wrapped.
Columbia now 6 of 12 from beyond the three-point line. Krupa sets up for a three. Can't get it, and the rebound for Collins.
Again, Megan Griffin employing her team on those defensive rebounds. Push it. She wants the tempo to get going.
Three and a half to go, first half. Henderson. 6 on the shot clock. Collins gonna have to force something up. Throws it up and is off the mark, but look who's on the glass. Kitty Henderson, offensive rebound. Weiss open for three, and she's fouled by Turner and will shoot 3 free throws. That's 2 fouls on Turner.
Eric, that is the 10th offensive rebound for Columbia. And who else but the point guard, Kitty Henderson, getting on the glass. She averages just under 3 boards a game. Defense is caught sitting in the paint. She kicks out to Weiss. Little contact.
So 2 on Turner. She will go to the bench with the 2 personal fouls. Broom heads out for Columbia. And Riley Weiss to the free throw line. One of the most improved players in the league, if not the most improved player. Last year was a strong first year, 7 points a game, 16 minutes a game. But this year, first team All-Ivy, 17.5 points a game. Turner still venting about that call. She went for 26, Christy, in the win against Harvard. That was a run of 3 straight games when she went for 25 or more. Gives you an idea how consistent Riley Weiss has been all season long, too.
Columbia now will be able to set up into some full court pressure. Again, Harmony Turner on the bench with 2 fouls, so that's one of your primary ball handlers who's on the bench now against this full court pressure.
Rodriguez back into the game. Here's Carly White across half court. Off to Rocco, who has knocked down a 3. Krupa open for 3 and gets it. Katie Krupa, who has been struggling to find the range from outside the three-point line this season after going for 43% last year, hits on one end, and then Henderson wastes no time scoring on the other end. Rodriguez working against Rafu. Back to Krupa. Needs some help. 8 on the shot clock, Rodriguez. Wants to go off the dribble. Rodriguez, beautiful move with the left hand for 2.
What I'm loving right now, it is the seniors who are making plays for their ball clubs.
Weiss, the sophomore, says, let me join the party. Under 2 to go, second quarter. Deep 3, it's good. And a freshman wants to get on it too. Second three-pointer for Rocco.
Why shoot twos right now is what both these clubs are saying when you can knock down the three. I knew we'd have a lot of three-point attempts, but it's the efficiency that is remarkable by both these clubs so far.
Collins trying to work, needs some help, finds the cutter to the basket. Matthew. Inside, two more. Harvard is just dicing up the Columbia defense right now. Christy, they're shooting better than 60% from the field.
And they're reading the defense so well. Columbia's going over the top of those curl screens, so the players are looping to the basket, and their teammates are finding them in rhythm for easy layups.
Blocked by Krupa. Picked up by Carly White. White fumbles it a bit. Rocco, can she make it three? No. And Weiss has the rebound.
Columbia's going to slow it up for one shot.
About 3.5 seconds or so between shot clock and game clock. Lembella will make Weiss work for it.
And Harvard does have plenty of fouls to give if they wanted to.
Six to shoot. Weiss, another deep three, another make. Harvard has to hurry. It's Rocco who will heave it at the buzzer, and that will do it. You predicted a three-point shootout. You're getting your wish here so far. It's a two-point game at halftime, 44-42 at the break, and the stars are shining.
Well, Eric, Harvard shooting 50% from three. Columbia is shooting 57% from three. This has been an exciting first half.
With a championship on the line, it is a Harvard lead at halftime over Columbia, 44-42 at the half. ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Principal. Let our expertise round out yours. You are watching ESPN's Champ Week, presented by Principal. It's the Ivy League Women's Basketball Tournament, presented by TIAA. Halftime Ivy Madness Championship. Oh, the watch party is on again. Amity Hall Uptown, that's where they're watching Columbia in Manhattan try to deliver a tournament title after winning the regular season title outright in the Ivy. Eric Freed, Christy Thomascutti back here with you. Columbia won at Harvard in the regular season. Harvard won at Columbia in the regular season. I don't think we're surprised to see a tight game here on a neutral court with the championship on the line.
Nor are we expecting the track meet that we saw, but it was the efficiency of both these teams that really stood out to me.
Yeah, both teams shooting great from outside the three-point line, and Harmony Turner doing her thing again here in Providence.
14 points already in the first half and very efficient. 2 of 3 from deep, but she impacted all aspects. The steal, the score. She knocked down from deep. She knocked down off the bounce. She was able to get to the rim. Her full display of skills has been on fire. And then, how does Columbia stay in the game? They were hot from 3. 8 of 14. Eric, they came in today averaging just under 8 made a game, but only shooting 31%. Hot is not even describing what Columbia is from deep. 57%. Riley Weiss was in on the action. Kitty Henderson, Arabello. Columbia just moving the ball extremely well.
So you see the numbers from the first half. Harvard shooting very well. The team's combining for 14 of 26 from outside the three-point line. 14 for Turner a day after she went for 44. Remember, she had 21 in the first half yesterday. You expected somewhere in the vicinity of 50 combined attempted threes in this game, right?
I did.
You're on track. 26 attempts combined. Gary Moore's Harvard team doing well from outside the arc, 6 of 12 in the first half. Interestingly enough, Harvard did not get to the free throw line in the first half. There were a total of 5 fouls called, just 1 on Columbia. It was on Henderson. 4 called on Harvard, 2 were on Harmony Turner. Raphew inside, another offensive rebound, but it doesn't last long as Turner rips it away for the Crimson.
Set play for Columbia, and unfortunately, just could not convert.
Turner showing the handle, looking for the dish. Rodriguez has had a very good game, into double figures with 11 after scoring just 2 against Princeton in the semis.
I will say the one thing that was surprising, the full court pressure did not make a big impact on either offense in that first half. I'm eager to see the halftime adjustments by both these head coaches.
Good point, Christy. Just 3 turnovers in the first half for Harvard, 4 for Columbia. Here's Rathew. Hands it off to Weiss. Weiss had 15 in the first half. Rejected by Glenn Bello. She's got those long arms and got the block.
All of Weiss's makes, she was 4 of 8 in the first half were from 3. Did not make one inside the arc.
Atira for Rodriguez. Turner got tangled up. Atira wanting to work with Rodriguez. 6 on the shot clock. Atira taken away by Rathew. Turnover by Harvard. Here comes Collins. Collins leans in. Couldn't get it to drop. Once again, Columbia getting on the offensive glass. That's where they've had an edge. And a foul's going to be called on Atira for Harvard.
Well, we've seen Harmony Turner make the baskets. And because she's getting so much attention, 2 players go with her. Great roll by Rodriguez, great find by Harmony Turner.
For those 44 points she scored yesterday, maybe the 2 biggest points were the ones she assisted on to Abigail Wright, which gave Harvard its final points and the 3-point edge and the cushion they needed to win in the semifinals. Collins, tough turnaround. No, Rathew again getting on the glass. This is an area where Columbia continues to have a big edge on Harvard, getting on the offensive glass.
Well, Columbia came in today 6th in the nation in offensive rebounds, averaging 16 a game. And Eric, their tallest player is 6'1". They work on it. It's about analytics. It is about the angles that they take. And it's about fundamental basketball, trying to go up and grab those second chance opportunities with 2 hands.
Off the tie-up, possession arrow will give it to the Crimson. 2 minutes into the 3rd quarter. Ivy Madness championship game, Harvard and Columbia. The winner will raise the trophy for the first time as we play this tournament for a 7th time. Rodriguez looking for Turner. Henderson went down. Turner shows the dribble, steps back. 3! 2001 in Harmony Turner's career, and she showed all her skills on that possession. Now on defense, she has to yield a bit to Collins.
But that's at least the 3rd time already early in the 3rd quarter where Cecilia Collins is getting the ball and just trying to back her defender down.
3rd member of the 2,000-point club in Harvard history, Harmony Turner. Turner, once again, Henderson is down. Turner takes advantage. 19 now for Harmony. 63 in the tournaments.
And she's not done.
Collins sets up wide open 3 with the answer.
This is high-level basketball, high-level execution. And what you have are players making plays based on how the defense is defending them and what they're giving up. You can't take everything away, and the decision-making's been really good by both ball clubs so far in this game.
Kicked over to Anderson. Page now guarding Turner. Anderson spins inside and gets the finish. Turner's the star, there's no question about it, but the supporting cast has been very strong for Harvard here today. Rodriguez gamble, Collins trying to make Harvard pay. And the foul's going to be called on Anderson.
It's not like Harmony Turner's at the top of every scouting report. And there was a mismatch because of Kitty Henderson falling down. Cecilia Collins was there, it didn't matter. Same thing next time, but off the bounce. This is when you know Harmony Turner's on it, besides the flex, is Columbia's running her off the 3-point line. She's making the jumpers. When she's had space, she's making the 3s.
Abigail Wright coming on now for Harvard. Anderson picked up her first personal, and Collins, good free throw shooter on a team that struggled at the free throw line, last in the Ivy League as a team. She's at 74%. How important do you think the benches will be over these next 10 minutes or so of game time. It's very warm in this building. The intensity level's been high. Championship, of course, on the line. Turner went for 44 in a hard-fought game last night, the second game of the doubleheader. Columbia played the early game.
Emotions will wear you out, and so that's one factor. You mentioned the heat. That's another factor. And I look at Glenn Bello. I remember the last three of the first half by Raleigh Weiss. She was chasing her all over the floor. She had nothing left to get out to her. How much does Harvard have in the tank, specifically knowing that they had the second game last night?
Page and Glenn Bello got tied up. Possession arrow will give it to the Lions. Kerry Moore goes to the bench. Carly White will come on as Hatira will head off. White played 26 minutes yesterday, played well in the semifinal win. Raffu will bring it up against Wright.
Raffu does a little bit of everything for Columbia. She rebounds, she defends, she sets the screens, and now she's breaking the press.
She does it well.
Yes.
A little bit of everything well. Double-double yesterday for the junior from England. 9 to shoot. Henderson to Weiss. Weiss open, can't get the three. And a box out by Carly White to keep Collins off the rebound. Harvard basketball.
We can talk about the pressure defense, but the effort Harvard also has to make to keep Columbia off the glass is another facet that can have a cumulative effect over 4 quarters.
Carly White will bring it up for the Crimson, hands it off to Turner. Off for Glenn Bello as we approach 5 minutes to go in the third quarter. Rodriguez to Turner. Turner feeds it into Wright on the turnaround, comes up short. Henderson there for the Columbia rebound. Kitty Henderson with the kick. Collins with the three. Won't drop. Rebound Rodriguez. And Rodriguez looks for the home run pass. Collins couldn't knock it away. Grabbed by Wright. And Wright puts it in for 2.
Nice help by Wright.
Wright played some really good minutes in the semifinal, doing it again here today in the final.
Eric, she came into Ivy Madness averaging 5 points a game, but she's only playing just over 11 minutes a game. She's effective, and she's an impact player for the Crimson.
Raffu traveled. That will get us to immediate timeout with 4:10 to go in the third in a 6-point game in Providence.
You want to attack pressure with pressure. Full court baseball pass. Abigail Wright does the work from there.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Principal. Let our expertise round out yours. This is the final time that Ivy teams will be going head-to-head before we get to the NCAA tournament. You will see teams in the postseason. Will you see 3 teams in the NCAA tournament? I thought Charlie Cream watched last night's game. He came out with his latest bracketology, Christie, right afterwards. He was impressed by what he saw between Princeton and Harvard in that battle, and he kept both teams in the field with Columbia. So right now it is a 3-bid league in the Ivy League.
Well, we know one of these 2 teams automatically in with the automatic bid. The other one is in good shape based on the metrics. And again, I will remind our viewers, the committee's not just looking at net. They're not just looking at 1 or 2 things. There's 10 different variables they're looking at. And I agree with Charlie on Princeton. Princeton has no bad losses. We've seen how competitive they have been. They lost to Utah, who's in the field close. Their one 10-point loss was right after the injury to Madison St. Rose earlier this year. And we know this is a very different Princeton club now.
On the run, out of the timeout, it's Carly White. She's into double figures now with 10. That's a new season high for her, 1 shy of her career high.
And that's big because you can tell that Harvard's trying to run trying to run her off the 3-point line. So they've got to be able to make the mid-range as well.
Weiss has not scored in the second half for Columbia. That's a player to watch. They get her a touch here. Now Raffu. Defended well by Wright. 6 on the shot clock. Right there with the defense. Great job by Harvard. Launching at the shot clock buzzer for three. Perry Page. Turner with the crossover. Turner spins it up. That's about the only shot that hasn't dropped for, and it almost fell in. Here's Collins. Page sees an opening to the basket, and Glenn Bello gives a foul.
Well, you got to understand time and score. Shot clock getting skinny. Perry Page knows it, gets the shot off in time, and you can see how important this game is.
Just in time.
If she had fingernails, may not have counted.
So Glenn Bello picks up her second personal foul. And here is the junior from Pittsburgh, Perry Page. Turner with 19 to lead all scorers. Weiss with 15 all in the first half. And another offensive rebound for Columbia. Raffu tracks it down. Page thought about it. Collins launches. Great box out by the freshman. Rocco to control it for Harvard. Rodriguez. Rocco hit a couple of threes in the first half. Back to Rodriguez. Muscles up on Collins. Couldn't get it to drop. Glenn Bello fighting for the rebound. She touched it last. And it will be Columbia basketball. Players got tangled up a little bit of stumbling. And now officials just trying to tell everybody, just take a breath.
Emotions are high because players want a championship. A little bit of clamping there. But I appreciate how the officials got in immediately, and I appreciate teammates getting in there quickly to defuse the situation.
Well, Glenn Bello will go to the bench. Weiss is on for Columbia.
Eric, right now, Columbia is 10 of 19 from three. They're shooting 52% from three, 33% inside the arc. Only 8 made baskets inside the arc. That's how important the three ball has been to Columbia and second chance opportunities today.
How about Harvard, Christy? I mean, they're attacking the basket. They have not been to the free throw line here today, but they're getting most of their points in the paint. They're shooting 60% from the field. Weiss, open look. Doesn't have the range like she did in the first half as of yet.
But another offensive rebound.
14 boards now for Columbia, and Henderson will go to the free throw line.
And Eric, we talked about fatigue. The mental toll that a team that just stays on the offensive glass and keeps making you stay on defense, keeps forcing you to box out, can have an effect, especially come fourth quarter.
Abigail Wright picks up her second personal foul, so she'll head to the bench, and Katie Krupa, captain for this Harvard team, will check in. And here is Henderson. First one's good, the senior from North Curl, Australia. #1 all-time in assists at Columbia. #5 all-time in scoring. #2 all-time in steals. #1 all-time in wins with 99.
And you know Kenny Henderson wants that one more. Yeah, it's nice to say 100, but she wants this Ivy championship.
She makes it a 2-point game. Krupa steps back for 3. Turner on the offensive glass. Couldn't get it to drop. Page with the rebound, and here is Columbia on the push. Broom stepped out of bounds. Turnover Columbia, Harvard ball.
And Broomwell learned, she thought she could be quicker than the double team that was going out of her. She just ran out of real estate. So the double's coming, and she's just trying to be faster than the defense, and unfortunately just steps on that baseline.
Inside of 90 seconds, still a low turnover game. 12 combined between the two teams.
See the switch.
With 10 on the shot clock, Turner couldn't get it. And here's Weiss. Weiss leans in, gets the roll. First points in the second half for the sophomore from Long Island. 17 points for Riley Weiss. And we're tied at 57, final minute of the third. On the backdoor cut, Rocco ends the 8-0 run.
Great pass, great cut. That's what you got to do when defenses are getting up in the passing lane, trying to disrupt your offensive set.
Columbia holding for a final shot. Down by 2. Broom. 10 on the shot clock. Broom thought about the 3. Finds Weiss with 3. 2. Weiss on the run. Nope, didn't hit the rim. It's going to be a shot clock violation, and there's a 1/10 of a second on the game clock. It is a shot clock violation, and Harvard will just put it in play, and they'll take a lead to the fourth quarter. You ready for a fourth quarter of a championship game?
I can't wait.
I know you are. Does Harmony Turner have more heroics in store for us? Will Columbia keep the momentum going into the fourth quarter? It's a 2-point game in Providence. Columbia had an 8-2 run to end the third quarter. Riley Weiss is their leading scorer tonight.
And she found her stroke when Columbia needed her most. She's gone the extra mile to create extra possessions on the glass. She has spotted up. Her teammates have found her from deep. She finally got one to go inside the arc. She's shooting a great percentage from 3, already 4 of 7. But you can tell Harvard's trying to run her off the 3-point line.
Ready for the fourth quarter here in Providence. What's at stake? A championship. The Ivy League Tournament Championship. Columbia, the regular season champions for a 3rd straight year, but outright for a first time this season. They went 13-1 on the season. Riley Weiss with the 17 points and 4 threes in this championship game. The winner getting the automatic bid to the NCAA tournament. As we just mentioned before, it seems favorable for the Ivy League to get 3 teams in the tournament, but one team will make sure that their name is called tomorrow during this selection special on ESPN.
We say it every year at this time. You want to sleep well going into Selection Sunday, win your tournament.
First possession, fourth quarter belongs to Harvard. The officials did go to the monitor, Christie, just to confirm that shot at the shot clock by Perry Page, and it was confirmed. It was out of her hand before the clock expired. Rodriguez couldn't get it. Defensive rebound for Collins. Columbia is a +7 in rebounding margin. They're a +7 in offensive rebounds. 14 O-boards for Columbia, 7 for Harvard.
And I'll remind you, they average 16 offensive rebounds a game without anyone over 6'1".
Beautiful cut to the basket. Page the feed by Collins. Turner for Glenn Beller. Wants to take Raffew off the dribble. Turner had an open look. Henderson gets called for just the 2nd foul of the game for Columbia. Both charged to Henderson.
Well, just great ball movement. And this is the key. Perry Page realizes her defender's sitting on the outside, so she just face cuts right to the rim. Great pass, great finish.
Do you remember many games where there's been a combined 10 fouls called and we're in the fourth quarter of a game? Turner, way too strong. Seems like Turner's a little off her game right now. I'm just going to let that question hang there. More rhetorical than anything else.
I do have an answer.
Okay, go.
Rec League. No, I think it's how smart these young ladies are in terms of executing game plans. It is how well and seasoned, and the veterans are playing at a high level. And there haven't been a lot of bad shots in this game.
Turner fumbles it, gets it to Glenn Bello. 8 on the shot clock. Rodriguez wide open. Doesn't get it. That's Turner getting on the glass. Anderson's slow to get up. She took a hard fall for Harvard.
You see players echoing calls to their coaches on the defensive bench. This is how well they know one another. Defensive coaches are trying to get teams set.
Turner, a facilitator, finding Rodriguez. And Harvard's on top by 2. Keep an eye on Anderson. She took a pretty hard fall. Good defender for this Harvard team. Right now defending Collins. And Anderson gets a steal. Has Glenn Bello on her right. Anderson all the way. 4-2. She looks fine. She looks fine. Gabby Anderson now with 4. 4-point lead for Harvard.
Like you knew that was coming.
Turner turning up the defense on Henderson.
10 seconds, the ball is not entered at the three-point line yet for Columbia. There it goes.
Collins has it, looking for the post up on Anderson. Can't get it to drop, but guess what? Another offensive rebound for the Lions. Collins puts it back.
The 15th of the game now for Columbia.
14 points for Collins, just above her season average. White for Rodriguez. Glenn Bello. Picks up her dribble. Finds Turner on the cut. 18 assists for Harvard, Christie, on 29 field goals. They've done a beautiful job of finding teammates.
We talked so much about Harvard's full court pressure and their press and how they want to turn you over. Their half-court defense has been really good in terms of taking Columbia out of their offense. They like to reverse the ball. They like to get downhill, driving kick. Harvard's done a relatively great job of that today.
Henderson wide open 3, couldn't get it. Anderson's got the defensive rebound for the Crimson, and Turner wants to run. And now she'll wisely bring it back out, slow things down for Harvard as we approach 6 minutes to play in the 4th.
Man, such a big part of this Harvard offense is 2-man action with Rodriguez and Harmony Turner, but I can't say it enough how the other players are reading the defense and making good plays.
Turner and Henderson with a hard collision, going for the loose ball. Back behind the play, 2 bodies are down. A wild scramble, and Columbia turns it over. Rodriguez back the other way. Kick to the corner, and a foul's going to be called on Perry Page.
You looked at both sets of assistant coaches. They're looking at their players on the floor and just telling everybody, calm down right now.
Gabby Anderson will head to the bench. Turner has 21 in the 2 games against Columbia in the regular season. She went for 22 in the win, 21 in the loss. And a block by Henderson, but guess who's in the right place at the right time? Right again, and a foul's going to be called on Page.
Wright had more time than she anticipated. Here's the bottom line. If Harmony Turner is inbounding the pass on an out-of-bounds play, you got to know she's coming in to get the handoff.
Glenn Bello will head out. Elena Rocco will come on for Harvard. Four-point lead for the Crimson. Go behind by 7 in the first quarter. Rodriguez got tangled up, and 3 quick fouls on Perry Page.
And between Rasmu and Page, Columbia needs to keep the 2 bigs on the floor because they switch so many of those screens to clog up the paint and prevent Harmony Turner from turning off those down screens and getting to the rim.
So after committing 1 foul, Christie, through the first 3 quarters, Columbia has picked up 4 here already in the 4th. Turner on Henderson. Won't drop. Wright kept it alive, but she touched it last. It'll be Columbia basketball. It's been a battle tonight between the player of the year in the Ivy League, Harmony Turner, primarily Kitty Henderson, the defensive player of the year, has been trying to keep up with Turner, but Henderson hasn't had to try to do it alone because she can't do it alone against Harmony Turner.
And in typical fashion, Harmony Turner going to the bench right around the break zone, just trying to get the star player for Harvard a little bit of rest going into the final couple of minutes of this game.
Got to buy what you can, right? 44 points last night, barely left the court. That's off of Collins' hands.
Nice pass.
Inside looking for Henderson, but getting on the ground was White for it. Tie-up possession arrow will keep it with Columbia with 7 on the shot clock.
And I asked Carrie Moore today, I said, one key for Columbia has been their out-of-bounds execution. She said, they're just so good. I said, how do you stop it? She goes, we have to be so disciplined. We have to line up correctly. We have to talk, and it's all about the right positioning.
Collins throws it off the window for 2. 16 points now for the senior from Scranton. 2-point game. Remember, Turner on the bench right now for Harvard. Who will they go to on offense?
I would let Rodriguez trigger. Doesn't mean she has to shoot, but let her be the decision maker.
She will shoot, but she can't score. Knocked out of bounds by Harvard. It will be Columbia ball when we come back to Brown. It is a 2-point lead for the Crimson in the Ivy Championship. ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by TIAA, where you can lock in the win and get a guaranteed monthly retirement check for life. When Columbia wrapped up the regular season title in the Ivy League, the Empire State Building was lit up in Columbia blue to celebrate the achievement. And they're still celebrating uptown, Amity Hall uptown, the Columbia Watch Party. For the Lions, it's their 4th straight 21 season, their 3rd straight Ivy regular season title, the #1 seed for the first time in Ivy Madness, and they're looking for their first Ivy tournament title. It's been a remarkable turnaround for this program that has amazing fan support now.
Well, and all credit goes to Megan Griffith. When she left Princeton to take over at her alma mater 9 years ago, this was the mission. This was the plan, to cut down the nets and win a championship.
Right now, her team trails by 2 against the Harvard team that has done a great job of taking care of the basketball. They've turned it over only 6 times in the game. And Harvard's on defense, out of the media timeout, inside of 4.5 to play in the 4th. The winner gets the automatic bid to the NCAA tournament. Collins throws it to Kitty Henderson. Henderson trying to work on Turner. Kicked outside, Weiss. Weiss's 3 is off the mark. It was challenged by Wright at the top of the key, and it'll be Harvard basketball.
Give Wright all the credit for that. She didn't give up on the chase of White and affected her shot attempt.
Carly White, sophomore from Burbank, California, has played some good minutes here in Providence, on the floor right now for Harvard. Turner splits defenders, flips it up with the left hand, but an offensive foul, no basket. That's her 3rd.
It's a great read by Harmony Turner. She splits the 2 defenders, but Cecilia Collins rotates from the weak side, gets there, and plenty of time to draw the charge.
So Turner picks up her 3rd, just the 7th turnover for the Crimson. 3:48 to go in the 4th in a 2-point game. Once again, Harvard will make Columbia work for it in the backcourt. Mia Broom, first year on the floor, hands it off to Henderson. Henderson and Collins, the co-captains for this Columbia team. Collins with it. Off the dribble, Collins, tough take, too strong. Rebound, last touch by Harvard. It will be Columbia basketball. 6 on the shot clock. Now the officials are going to have a quick conversation here because there was not a reset. Megan Griffith is asking about there being a reset, and they say we're good. They check with the scores table, and they're going to put the ball in play. 6 on the shot clock. Here's Collins. Collins at 4. Collins, good defense, but a foul is called on Whites.
It was a clear out for Collins to go one-on-one there. And I got to be honest with you, I thought White had all ball there. I don't know if that's a befuddled expression by Carrie Moore, or she's just thinking about the next offensive call.
She's thinking about the next call. Nothing you can do about the last one, right? Here's Collins at the free throw line. Once again, very good free throw shooter. And makes the first. Well, tomorrow, Selection Sunday, Christie, it all starts 6 Eastern Time, Sports Center on ESPN. Reese and the crew will look at the men's field of 68 as the brackets are announced. That's followed by bracketology, breakdowns of each region. At 8, the women's field of 68 is revealed with bracketology and a complete breakdown to follow at 9 on ESPN2. You have a very early flight tomorrow to get home, get a nap in because you have to be ready for the selections.
The greatest time of the year.
It sure is. So we're tied again. Collins at the free throw line delivers. 65 all as Turner brings it across half court. There's Rocco to White. Back for Turner. Turner spinning, hanging, can't finish. Wright gets in there for the offensive rebound. Another winning play made by the sophomore from Newton, Mass, and she was fouled.
First of all, it's the move by Harmony Turner. A quick crossover, and then with the spin, but just doesn't fall. And once again, right place, right time for Harvard.
Columbia over the limit. This will be the first free throw attempt of the night for Harvard. And it's not like they've stayed away from the paint at all. Wright knocks it down.
I mean, 38 paint points already in this game for Harvard.
Perfect. Right now with 6. Harvard back in front. Inside of 3 minutes to go in the fourth. Broom with the push. Kick to Weiss. Launches the 3. Can't get it. Knocked out of bounds. Last touch by Rodriguez. It looked like Columbia's Perry Page came in there and took a swipe at it. Harvard protesting this call.
They just don't give up. Even when a shot is off, it's the pursuit of the basketball.
That's the right call.
Yes.
Rodriguez touched it last. And then a turnover by Columbia. White with the push the other way, and the finish. Carly White, a new career high. She's got 12, and Harvard is up by 4 in the fourth. Collins has the open look for 3. Can't get it. Harvard doing a better job on the defensive glass as this game gets to its final minutes, and Turner will trot across half court and now slow things down. Seven on the shot clock for Turner. Working on Henderson. Kick to Glenn Bello. 3-pointer. Won't drop. Once again on the glass. Abigail Wright fighting for it. And a tie-up will give it to the Crimson.
Abigail Wright continues to elevate her play for the Crimson. Plus 20 last night. What does that mean? She was 20-plus positive for her team in winning plays yesterday when she was on the court, and she continues that here in the championship game.
Well, Collins heads to the sideline with 1:42 to go. 20 on the shot clock for Harvard after the tie-up. Turner has it knocked away. Henderson doesn't give up on the play. The Ivy League Defensive Player of the Year with the steal. The follow, no. The fight goes on. Bodies on the floor. Again, another tie-up. And the possession arrow pointing to Columbia.
Well, this all starts with the defensive player of the year. Shoots the gap, and Harmony Turner's just a little nonchalant about going after it. Kitty Henderson just attacks the loose ball. Perry Page, second chance opportunity, then gets on the floor to maintain possession for Columbia.
And give Turner credit, she stayed in the fight. You mentioned nonchalant. You cannot give up on Kitty Henderson because she won't give up on the play, but then Turner got back in the mix and made it tough on Henderson. 91 seconds to go in the fourth. In a 4-point game. Collins back in for Columbia. She'll trigger the inbound. And she threw it away. Another turnover for Columbia. Turner's got it.
Smart play by Turner. Didn't have numbers, pulled it out.
Defended by Weiss. Turner with it. Kicks it over. Rodriguez for three. No, was short. And here comes Columbia on the push. Broom, no hesitation. Offensive foul called on the freshman. Harmony Turner took the contact.
Well, the player of the year is now making defensive stands of the year for the Crimson. Gets their reminder in women's basketball. There is no arc on the floor. It's under the cylinder that counts. Harmony Turner is there. Crimson ball.
1 minute to go in the fourth.
Columbia does not need to foul, but they must get a stop here.
Turner's got it. Both teams with plenty of timeouts remaining here as well, as Rodriguez has it. Looks to return to Turner. 6 on the shot clock. Rodriguez, Glenn Bello throws it up, no. Rebound for Columbia. Here's Kitty Henderson. Henderson to Weiss. Weiss launches a three. She was fouled, and she will shoot 3 free throws. Not much was happening for Harvard offensively. You're surprised they didn't take a timeout right there just to get settled and set.
I would have, yes, but again, you got to know your team. More importantly, though, was just the lack of urgency and transition defense. Harvard, 2 players stayed back after they didn't secure it. That's how Columbia was able to get the numbers. That's how Weiss had the initial open look. So many offensive, defensive substitutions now by both of these ball clubs.
Gabby Anderson comes on as Rodriguez will head out.
The good news if you're Columbia, despite the struggles at the free throw line this entire season, is your best free throw shooter is at the free throw line now.
87%. Riley Weiss on the season. She's 3 for 3 today. Shooting 3.
And if I'm Harvard right now on the floor, I'm talking to my teammates and I am saying box out. When the Columbia players come and join the line after this next one, the most important possession is this one. Box out. If they make it, I'm assuming Harvard will call the timeout to advance the ball.
Carrie Moore already has the board in hand to draw up a play. So you assume a timeout here if Harvard secures possession or Weiss makes the free throw. She makes all 3. 20 points now for Riley Weiss. Timeout called by Harvard. It's a 1-point game. We'll take the break as well in the final minutes with a championship on the line in Providence. You're watching ESPN's Champ Week presented by Principal, the Ivy League Women's Basketball Tournament presented by TIAA going down to the wire. 1-point lead for Harvard here in the championship game of Ivy Madness. It's Harvard basketball. The shot clock is off as Harvard puts it into play. And they find Harmony Turner, who gets fouled. So Turner will head to the free throw line to shoot 2.
And Columbia had to foul because the shot clock was off, the 1-point differential. And Rafu, it almost looked like she didn't mean to foul there. So I'm assuming that what Columbia was trying to do is just force the turnover.
So Rafu picks up her first, and Harmony Turner will head to the free throw line. She has joined the Harvard 2,000-point club in this game today. 81% from the line, 22 now today, following up her 44 yesterday.
offensive defensive substitutions by Carrie Moore. She just got Rodriguez to the table.
Turner, no doubt. 23, and Columbia will take a timeout. They'll advance into the front court. Shot clock off. 3-point game. A lot of time on the game clock. 27.5. I know sometimes you think 3-point game.
I go for
Be aggressive. Get two.
Yep.
Keep moving.
Don't waste time right now. Again, if you have a wide open look, with the way Columbia shot from deep today, take it. But don't waste the time. Get 2 points. Put pressure on Harvard to have to make free throws. And we know with Columbia's pressure defense, there's a chance they could also force a turnover.
But you mentioned Columbia being a good 3-point shooting team. 10 of 24 today. 6 different players have made at least 1 3-pointer today. They have options.
It's a lot of pressure on an opposing defense to know who to try to stop.
The one with the hot hand has been Riley Weiss. She's made 4 threes today. Henderson's made a couple of threes. Will it be a 3? Will it be a quick 2 for Columbia? Will it be overtime here with the championship on the line? 7th Ivy Madness, Harvard and Columbia each looking for their first Ivy tournament championship.
And one other nugget, Harvard does still have 1 foul to give before Columbia's in the bonus. What a weekend.
Highlighted by Harmony Turner going for a tournament record 44 points, breaking her Harvard single game record in the semifinal victory against Princeton. It's been the Harmony show again here today on a lesser scale. Her teammates have certainly stepped up, taking a lot of the pressure off her, helping Harvard to a 3-point lead here as Columbia puts it into play. Henderson, get to the page, back to Kitty Henderson, defended by Turner, as it should be. Weiss.
Switch out.
Wide open 3 for the tie. Front iron, no good. Right with the rebound for Harvard, and a foul called on Columbia with 17.6 to go.
It was good execution by Columbia. You got a good look because 2 players went with Weiss. Unfortunately, couldn't knock it down. And once again, it is Wright coming up with a big rebound for the Crimson.
Right now with 7 rebounds, and now she's at the free throw line where she's 2 for 2 today. Here's a young woman who is averaging 13 minutes a game off the bench this season. Was a starter late last year, but a supporting role this year, 5 points a game, and she has made so many winning plays for this Harvard team, and she comes through in the clutch at the free throw line, knocking down 2 to make it a 2-possession game. Timeout, Columbia.
And so now you're down 4. 5. Quick math, still not my strong suit. I think, again, if you can get a quick 3, now you try to take that. You do not want slow developing plays here because 2-possession ball game. You're trying to get quick score first and foremost. But I would look for the 3 now, knowing you have to foul again.
They got a wide open look on the last possession. Page just couldn't knock it down. So we'll see if Columbia gets another open look at 3 here quickly. Right at the free throw line, making the 2 to make it a 5-point game. Harvard on top. 17.6 to go.
And I'll say this again. Harvard still has a foul to give. They didn't look like they were even trying to do that the last time.
It will be inbounded again opposite the Columbia bench. Put into play by Riley Weiss. That's the person you would think Columbia wants to shoot the 3 here if they can get it back to her.
Watch her making the quick pass, running in to get the quick handoff.
Gets it into Collins. Collins. Weiss looks for the 2. Couldn't get it, and a blocking foul is called on Harmony Turner. So they went for the 2. Turner gets her 4th personal foul. Carrie Moore thought Turner was there. I know Harmony thinks she was there. But it's going to be Weiss at the free throw line. Try to make it a 1-possession game again. She is their best free throw shooter, as Christy mentioned before, at 87%.
And I like Carrie Moore's getting in her better rebounders because she knows the pressure here is to make sure they get the box out.
Big right there. Now
2-possession ball game still.
The best Columbia could hope for is a two-possession game unless Weiss misses this one. They get another offensive rebound, but you were going to think Weiss is going to try to make here. She does. She makes it. Timeout called by Harvard. They will advance it into the front court. 4-point game, 11.4 to go. Turner, remember, with the 4 fouls.
Eric, now it's keep away. If you're the Crimson, it is get the ball inbounded cleanly. They still have 1 timeout left in case something happens to make sure they don't get a 5 count. But I would spread the floor here and then try to get the ball in and then just avoid the foul by Columbia.
And of course, the player whose hands you want it in is none other than Harmony Turner. She has 67 points in the 2 games here at Brown and Providence. She's gone over 2,000 in her career with her 23 here today. And you know she wants the ball in her hands. She wants to be at the free throw line with a championship on the line.
We'll never forget her opening statement is, Player of the Year is a great honor, but I want an Ivy Madness championship.
Bello to trigger the inbound. They do get it into Turner's hands, and Turner is fouled by Page. That will be Page's 4th, and Turner will go to the free throw line with 10.4 to play. Rodriguez will check back in for Harvard as Anderson will head to the bench. Collins comes in. Collins, very good 3-point shooter. So between Weiss and Collins, those are your go-tos, but it's going to have to happen very quickly for Columbia on the other end. It starts with Turner at the free throw line. The door is ajar for Megan Griffith's team.
Still 2 possession. I'm expecting them to grab this rebound, make her miss, and call timeout in advance.
Turner gives a little cushion, and a timeout is called by Columbia.
With 10 seconds now, Eric, I would expect maybe some type of lob. Again, leading someone to the rim for the quick score.
So again, you're not looking 3 here, you're looking just a quick basket.
It's still 2 possessions, and so a 3 is going to take at least 3 or 4 seconds off the clock. I would rather know what I need to do, and most importantly, get points. I'll say, if you're coming to the rim, if they can do down screens on the weak side, bringing someone to the ball for a quick catch and shoot, absolutely you want that 3.
Math's getting a little tight here, though. With 10.4 to go, 1 timeout remaining, 2 possession game, 5 points. The difference right now. Here comes Kitty Henderson leading Columbia back onto the floor. Will it be Henderson getting the shot? Will it be Collins, who's the inbounder, getting it back? Here we go, 10.4 to go. Collins throws it inside to Henderson, who gets the quick 2. And now Harvard will use their final timeout to advance it into the front court with 8.7 to go.
Megan Griffith went for the quick score, and her team executed. Movement all around to get Kitty Henderson to the block, isolated. Henderson does the rest by herself, knowing there that Turner can't afford to foul. She just let it go.
Turner with the 4 fouls, good point. So Henderson scores quickly. It is a 1-possession game. And now if you're Columbia, you're looking for the steal and the 3. If not, you got to get the foul and hope you foul the right person to put them at the line. And they don't connect. Columbia just with that 1 timeout remaining to advance it into the front court. They've got that in their pocket. That's a plus for the Lions with 8.7 to go.
And so we saw what Harvard did the last time. They put 2 players in the backcourt and had Harmony Turner with a single screener to spread people out. Why do you do that? You want fewer people around the ball. You want fewer people that might be able to get in and get the steal. And so I'm still expecting screen for Harmony Turner, bring her to the ball.
Turner with 24 points. She's 3 of 4 for the free throw line. The only other Crimson player to attempt a free throw here tonight is Abigail Wright, who's 4 for 4 from the line.
And that was your screener the last time. So again, Carrie Morris putting the high percentage shooters on one part of the court, getting everyone else out of the way.
Last season, Harvard lost to Columbia in the Ivy semifinal round by 2. Just a young team, just 1 senior on that squad a year ago. They lost to Princeton in the championship 2 years ago at Princeton. Well, the officials taking a peek at things. Are they
Gotta be clocked.
checking to see if 8.7 is the time left? No change. 8.7, and the defensive player of the year all over Harmony Turner right now.
And I love what Kitty Henderson's doing. She's establishing her position so that she can react to whatever Turner's about to do.
Bello to trigger the inbound. Columbia looking for a steal and a three here to tie it up. Bello finds an open Rodriguez, who decides to go to the basket off the mark. Columbia takes their final timeout. Wow. Rodriguez had the open look. She could have dribbled it out. And Columbia has the opportunity here with 5.2 to go to tie it with a three.
And it's plays like that, why you go with the high percentage looks, why you're just trying to extend games. Right look for Rodriguez, but I would have preferred for her to dribble the clock out.
Well, you saw her with the hands to the face and the mouth right away. Teammates, Rodriguez wide-eyed right now, trying to gather herself in that huddle. The door is more than ajar right now, but it's going to take a three for Columbia, and they're out of timeouts.
And Eric, what I love, and we've seen this all weekend with Harvard, it's a team, it's the culture. As soon as she missed it, teammates ran to her, getting her to move on to the next play. And next play now, Columbia obviously out of timeouts. They've got to get the three. You said it, a lot of players on the floor, so it gives you different options. Quickest release is Riley Weiss.
Harvard with a three-point lead. Do you foul here?
This is where, if I'm Harvard, I want to do that. We're probably about 2 to 3 seconds on the clock. You definitely do not foul in the act of shooting. We know the woes of Columbia at the free throw line, but I still don't think that you just leave it up to them to make the free throws.
One final huddle for Carrie Moore with the 5 on the floor for Harvard before they head down on defense. 5.2 to go. Columbia with possession, down by 3, hoping to force overtime.
Now, if I'm the Crimson, I am switching every screen because knowing they need a three, you want to defend the arc. And the players are getting sent back to the benches because the officials are reviewing.
Officials back at the monitor here. Once again, checking for time, I would assume.
Now you wonder, because Harvard just saw the formation of Columbia. Does that give them an advantage?
Does that give Columbia an advantage? Yeah, Carrie Moore wasn't too happy with the delay because Harvard was coming out and then they were sent back towards the bench. But now we're ready to go.
Same alignment.
Columbia ball on the side. Down by 3. Out of timeouts. Here we go. Collins.
Weiss coming around for the handoff.
Weiss has it, launches for the tie. In and out, tapped around, and that will do it. The Harvard Crimson have won the Ivy Championship. You saw Harmony Turner sprint over to Carrie Moore, embracing it now. Harvard celebrating. They have the automatic bid. Columbia and Princeton will wait and hope to hear their names called tomorrow night during the selection special. What madness is the perfect word it was here in Providence.
Well, you want better players to make the key plays, and that's what we saw throughout this weekend. Hats off to Columbia on a tremendous Ivy Madness, but just too much Harmony Turner, too much defense down the stretch for the Crimson.
Columbia got the look from Weiss in the end, in and out, and Harmony Turner and the Harvard Crimson celebrating an Ivy Madness title. Congratulations to the Crimson, and you will see them in the NCAA tournament for the first time since 2007. And I have a feeling this celebration is going to go on for a while here in Providence. For Christy Thomas-Scuddy and our entire crew, I'm Eric Green. Thank you for being with us here in Providence. Let's get you to Atlantic City. Jay Alter, Tim Welsh, and the MAC Championship.